Hi guys! For those that don't know who I am, my name is Shelly. Welcome to my channel and thanks for clicking on this video. Today I am going to be sharing with you guys my sugar cookie dough recipe. I got a couple of requests for this recipe, so let's go ahead and get started with these cookies and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. For this super easy and fail-proof recipe, you're going to need 5 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 1 pound or 4 sticks of butter, I use salted, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 eggs, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla or any other extracts that you would like to use. First thing that you're going to want to do is cream your butter and your sugar. You don't need a stand mixer. This recipe will still come out great using a hand mixer or even a potato masher. I know it sounds crazy, but I've used it and it works. But you want to cream or beat your butter and sugar mixture until it's very light and fluffy. I do this on medium speed in my stand mixer with a paddle attachment for approximately 5 minutes. While I'm doing that, I get my flour ready. If you want, you can sift your flour, but I found that it's really not that necessary. In a separate bowl, combine your flour and baking powder and set it aside. In a small bowl or a glass measuring cup, I'll crack in 2 eggs and the extracts. Sometimes, in addition to the 2 teaspoons of vanilla, I'll add 1 teaspoon of almond or 1 teaspoon of lemon extract. And even sometimes I'll use 1 tablespoon of zest from a lemon. Once your sugar and butter is creamed together, add your egg and vanilla mixture in 1 egg at a time until each egg is thoroughly mixed before adding the next. Now that your eggs are mixed in, lower the bowl and scrape the sides and the bottom. Mix again until it's completely combined. One cup at a time, add in your flour mixture. You don't need to fully mix in the flour because you don't want to overmix. You just want to add in 1 cup at a time to prevent the flour from going all over you and your counters. Mix in all of the flour until almost fully combined. To my working surface, I'll sprinkle some flour. This will help prevent your dough from sticking. Then you can take your dough out of your mixing bowl, and I use a rounded bench scraper to get as much out as I can because I'm OCD and I really hate to waste. At this point, my dough is just about finished. I just want to knead in about a half a cup of more flour to make it a little bit more firm and less sticky. You don't want to overmix it in your mixer, otherwise it may get tough and dry, so doing this process by hand makes it a way better dough. After my dough is well mixed, I'll wrap it in some saran wrap and chill it in the fridge for 1 hour. I do prefer letting my dough rest in the refrigerator for 24 hours, but in this tutorial it did sit in the fridge for only 1 hour. You want your dough to be really cold so that it's easier to roll it out and it holds its shape while cutting it out. Also, it reduces spreading and puffing up too much while baking. Make sure to spank your dough to make sure it knows that it did a job well done. After my dough has been chilling, I cut my shapes out in sections. I start with 1/2 and then I put the rest of the dough back in the fridge, and then I try to work as fast as possible. I don't want my dough to come back up to room temperature while I'm cutting out my shapes. I sprinkle a little bit more flour to my surface to make sure that my shapes don't stick while transferring to the baking tray. I also add some flour to the top of the dough so that the rolling pin doesn't stick either. I like my cookies to be on the thicker side, so I roll out my dough to a little over 1/4 inch. You don't want them too thick though, because then they will dome on the top and you may find it difficult to decorate with royal icing. But I don't like them too thin either because otherwise they'll be a little bit crispy. I like a really soft and fluffy interior. I find that they also stay fresh longer this way. Make sure that your dough is evenly rolled out so that one side of your cookie is not thicker than the other side. Now all you have to do is cut out your shapes. This dough will make approximately 3 to 4 dozen cookies depending on the size of your cutter. I'm using an assorted mix of sizes that range between 2 and 3 inches, so I got about 32 cookies using 3/4 of this dough. An important note is that I will put my leftover dough wrapped in saran and then in an airtight container, and I will freeze them up to 3 months. I'm sure that they can be in there longer, but I make enough cookies that they never last that long in there. Also, my friend Danielle and her mom, Barbara, will always accept leftovers, so I never have to worry about my cookies going to waste. To transfer them, I just use a small angled icing spatula to lift them up. If one gets messed up in the process, just save the dough and roll it out again. I usually will add them into my scrap pile and then roll it into a ball and mix it with some cold dough and then roll it out and recut them. You don't have to worry about spacing them too far apart. These cookies will not spread too much. Just make sure that they're not touching. Then I like to put them into my freezer while I preheat my oven to 350 degrees. These cookies bake up pretty quickly. In my oven, they're done in about 12 minutes, but you can bake them up to 15 minutes if you want a more browned bottom. Once I pull my cookies out of the oven, immediately I like to ever so lightly smash down the tops with my icing spatula, and you could use a regular spatula as well, to remove any air bubbles or domes. This just helps the decorating process much easier so that you get a better flood on your cookie. I don't let my cookies sit too long in the tray after they're baked. I remove them as soon as possible to prevent them from over baking. So I'll carefully remove them with my icing spatula or even just my hand if they're firm enough and transfer them to a wire rack. Then I let them cool down completely. At this point, you can decorate them or put them in an airtight container until you're ready to decorate. These are by far the best sugar cookies. I've tried other recipes, but these ones are the best and I will stand by that. They work well in my propane heated oven. They're versatile, so you can add in any flavoring or even cocoa if you want to change the flavor. They're very tender cookies and they taste amazing. And they stay fresh up to 2 to 3 weeks after baking. You can even store baked cookies in the freezer for 3 months and they'll taste like they were freshly baked. I really hope that this recipe will work for you as well as it does for me. Thank you to my viewers who requested this recipe. It really does help motivate me to create more content for you guys. I will be posting a separate video on how I decorated these cookies, and I also received a request to do a tour of all of my baking supplies and my tools. I have not forgot about you guys. I have just been so busy. I'm sorry I haven't done it yet, but the video will be in the making very soon. Thank you all for watching. Please consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel if you're new here, and turn on your post notification bell. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Happy baking! Bye!